Hello everybody, welcome back. In this video, we shall look at using the repeat until block in our quiz game to create a persistent quiz master. What I mean by a persistent quiz master is a quiz master who asks you a question until a correct answer has been given, right? Until the master receives a correct answer, it keeps on asking you that question, right? Now, in general, repeat until is an extremely powerful block, useful in many situations in Scratch, but still, I think it's a little bit hard as well, right? So, a lot of students find it a bit confusing, partly because its use requires care, and partly also because there's another block called repeat, right? So, through this video, hopefully, we will cover what is the difference between these two, why do we use repeat until, and what's a good way to look at it, right? All in the context of our quiz game, right? So for let's get started. So for the purpose of this game, I have created a very simple program where this sprite Ivory asks me a question and then it waits for an answer. So the answer question asked is very simple. What is 2 plus 2? Of course, the answer is 4. And remember, anything that I answer through this box gets stored in this variable called answer, this box called answer. So if the answer is 4, then sprite says well done for 2 seconds. If the answer is not 4, then it says I thought that was easy, right? So if I did this, for example, it says well done. On the other hand, if I did this again and I say, let's say 6, then it says it was easy, right? Now let's say I want the sprite to ask me this question once again if I have answered this wrongly, right? So what can I do? Remember, this is like a T-junction. If answer is 4, then do this. Else, which means if I have not answered correctly, say this. But if I wanted to ask me again, I can duplicate this entire code and put it all inside this. Right now, this starts to look complicated, but it's actually quite simple. If I do not answer correctly, then it says, well, I thought that was easy for 2 seconds, and then asks me once again, right? So if let's say I do this, so I say, what is 2 plus 2? Like I can say 5 maybe. She says that was easy, right? And then asks me again because of this thing here, which is, so if I say, if I say 7 again, then it says, okay, look, I thought that was easy, right? Now let's say I want this to really continue till a correct answer has been received, right? So you might think, okay, what's the big deal, right? I can go and again, duplicate this part and put it inside the else, right? But notice how cumbersome this is starting to get, right? This code is getting very hard to read, very difficult to understand, because it's becoming like too many if, else. Inside the else there's an if, inside that else there's another if, and so on and so forth. Though this will work. So for example, if I look at this code, let's say I answer 2 by 2 is 6, 2 plus 2 is 6. It says that easy. It asks me again. Again, this time let's say I answer 8, which is also wrong. It says I thought it was easy. It asks me again, and this time it's really because of this. If I say answer is says 7, this time it just gives up on me, right? Because look, I have not told it, right? But if let's say I wanted it to keep on asking me, do I have to keep writing this if else, and so on and so forth? Well, the answer is no, because there is a very powerful block called repeat until, right? So what we will do is that we will use this block, it's inside controls, this block called repeat until, right? And I will, I'll just have one loop here. I do not want to do this again, right? I'll just wrap all this up into repeat until answer is equal to 4, right? So when I do this, right, basically sprite is going to ask me this question again and again until it receives an answer of 4, right? So I can remove this. It's like, look at how compact and how beautiful this has become. So now if I run this code, right, so when I click the flag, answer becomes empty. So basically answer is not equal to 4, and hence sprite gets into this loop, right? So what is 2 plus 2? Say I answer 5, right? So answer will become 5. Sprite says, I thought that was easy. It goes and checks again. Is answer equal to 4? Oh, no, answer is not equal to 4. So I will repeat this once again, right? So 2 plus 2 is, so I say 6, right? It again says, I thought that was easy. Again goes and checks and says, okay, look, answer is not equal to 4. So I will ask again, right? In fact, it will keep on asking me no matter how many times it is, till I keep giving so long as I keep giving the wrong answer, it will keep asking me. So until it receives the correct answer, it will keep repeating what's inside this loop, which is basically to ask this question, right? So we have ended up with an extremely persistent quiz master here, and finally when I answered 4, it gave me a right, I mean, it kind of exited, right? Because this became correct, right? So the way to understand this really is that whatever is inside this repeat until, so which means in this case this entire code is inside repeat until, it will be repeated until answer becomes equal to 4, right? So long as your answer is not equal to 4, sprite will come and do this, right? So in general, if this condition becomes true, this thing stops working, right? So this thing stops going in there, right? But until this condition is true, this thing happens, right? And it's actually very, very powerful in many, many contexts. We shall look at it in some future activities as well, right? Before we wrap this up, however, I just want to highlight that there is another block called repeat, right? Now, why can't I use this, right? What's the difference between repeat and repeat until, right? So let's say instead of repeat until, I had put the same thing in a repeat loop, right? So let's say here I said repeat maybe 3 times, right? Now the difference is that when I say repeat, right? So Sprite is going to repeat this for 3 times regardless of what I'm answering. So if I answer 5, it says I thought it was easy. It asks me a question, but let's say I answer 4. Now, even though I answered 4, because I have told him to repeat for 3 times, it's going to ask me once again what is 2 plus 2, even though I answered correctly, right? So this is not exactly a persistent quiz master. It's like a little bit strange quiz master, right? It's asking me questions even though I'm answering correctly. It's kind of asking me again. This also you can use, for example, you can use for creating some kind of a, like, how many attempts you give somebody, right? So you can use a repeat. For example, I'll give you 2 correct attempts and after that I will abort, right? Or something like that. So there repeat could be used. But repeat until is actually a little bit more powerful in this context because it creates a situation where the question is asked until a certain condition is met, which in this case is that the correct answer has been received, right? So that's a sort of usage of repeat until. Like I said, it basically helps you to summarize, to sort of condense your code, a lot of code, into just this one loop, right? And it's hence it's very useful, right? I hope this was useful for you. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.